Hello everyone, this is Siddharth Sedani. We have tied up with RIAs, Registered Investment Advisors. Now, Registered Investment Advisors are an external advisory which we have tied up with, and they would be providing advisory to our investors. Now, you must be wondering, why a Registered Investment Advisor? Now, there are several points to understand in why a Registered Investment Advisor. But just to name a few, it gives you a full transparency compared to a mutual fund. Added to that, it is the fastest growing segment today because of small ticket size. Then it's the execution happens at the prevailing market price. It doesn't happen that it happens 1 month behind or whatever. So it's in the prevailing market price. So these are the main pointers of why a Registered Investment Advisor. Now the features, let's understand what are the main features of a RIA. It has been managed by a RIA, a fund manager, right at the helm of the business. Added to that, we have a periodic performance review, plus a dynamic portfolio rebalance, because a stock goes out and a stock comes in. It's a dynamic portfolio rebalance with a single click execution, because it's available on our TradeMobi app. All these portfolios, power of discretion, because at the end of the day, to execute, not to execute, is all depending on you. It's a one-click investment, and there is no lock-in. There is no lock-in because you can come out and come in on the portfolio any given point of time. There is no lock-in, and it's a live performance tracking. In the evening also, you want to check where is your portfolio. You can always keep track of it, that how and where did you reach and your portfolio investments have reached. Now we'll understand some of bigger differences between a mutual fund and an RIA. There are many differences, but just to share a few. The number of stocks are very less in a RIA, between 15 to 25, whereas the mutual fund contains 50 or a little more than stocks in a folio. So that is excess. There is no lock-in period in some of the ELSS fund. In mutual fund, there is a lock-in period. No entry and exit loads. In some of the cases of mutual fund, we have exit loads. Added to that, the fees is broadly similar, 2.5% here. There is 2.5 to 2% to 3%, varies on fund to fund, which gives you here the time horizon is 1 to 3 years, where in mutual fund people talk about 3 to 5 years. So the time horizon of investments is lesser compared to a mutual fund, and you get an email, SMS notifications on mobile app whenever there is a rebalance, whereas in mutual fund you don't get anything of that sort. It has been managed and done by a fund manager, so you have your own involvement in Registered Investment Advisor. So this is a one click available on TradeMobi app. So RIA happens to be the best currently in the system. Out of that, we have tied up with one of the RIAs called Abakkus. Now you must be wondering, what is Abakkus? Who is Abakkus? Now the name and the picture will speak about all. Abakkus is a Registered Investment Advisor. They started with AIF and mutual PMS initially. After that, now they started an advisory portfolio which is of 5 lakh rupees, and this has been started by none other than Mr. Sunil Singhania. Now Mr. Sunil Singhania is a veteran of the industry, a very experienced person, has remained a CIO of Reliance Mutual Fund for many years, delivering supersonic results and performances in many of the funds which he used to manage in Reliance. He had been a marquee fund manager of the industry, well recognized, well accepted, right stock picks in the industry. So Mr. Sunil Singhania, helm of the business, co-founder, founder of Abakkus, who has started this. Now the philosophy is very simple for them. Meets, MEETS, meets. M for management, right management perspective. If a right management is there in the business, gives you a right perspective in terms of picking up right stock in the portfolio. Earnings, of course, in the markets, in the companies which performs, earning is the backbone of it. How the CAGR performances happened, what are the earning expectations going forward is very important. Third, events and trends. What are the new events happening in the company? What are the new triggers which is coming is very important. Timing. a particular sector has a tailwind or a headwind is very important to know, and that timing is very important for a sector to, with a 1 to 3 year perspective, to pick up a right stock, and structural changes in an industry. If there is a structural changes in an industry, that gives you a moat to pick up right industry and correct stock in the sector. So this is meets their strategy for them. Why Abakkus? They have that expertise, they have that performance, commitment, positioning, opportunity and consistency to deliver. With this, these are the main advantages. Now they have one fund with themselves, smart Flexi cap portfolio, 1 year old, hardly 1 year old. So this is the performances, this is the segregation of the top sector which they have in their portfolio. But going forward, looking at the understanding of the fund manager, Mr. Sunil Singhania, and the expertise which he puts in terms of stock picking, their fund managers puts in, is humongous. So Abakkus, I will just give you a small brief and a summary of that. Is a fund of 5 lakh rupees, 80,000, and in multiples you can do top-ups also. 2.5% is the annual fees, which they take on a quarterly basis. 0.625 is the charges which they take on a quarterly basis. 2.5% is not been charged for the entire at one go. It is broken in 4 pieces, that is 4 quarters. First quarter they take the terms and condition and the mandate from the client. For the next quarter's automatic renewal, so you don't have to worry and chase about it. It is managed by a fund manager called Mr. Rahul Veera. 3 to 5 years is what the perspective is, and there is no exit load to this. So this is Abakkus for you. This gives you a super perspective of investments with the marquee investors like Mr. Sunil Singhania, and Mr. Sunil Singhania is well recognized, well accepted in the industry. So any given point of time you have any query regarding Abakkus, understanding more about it, please connect to our equity sales and advisory team so that they can resolve your queries. You can get back to us.